there and good evening. Welcome to the broadcast. You're just in time for EBN Weekend Edition with me, Cynthia Nanjala. We are coming on there tonight and there are blackout in parts of the country. So I'll be reading that press statement by Kcpe in just a bit. However, let's take a look at stories making headlines across the country. I am back like I never left. Meru County Governor Kawira Mwangaza receives grand entry back home. Over 600 health facilities shut down as crack on fake medical facilities and doctors continues. Cry for help in northeastern. Floods leave residents homeless and helpless. Well, you can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. Our SMS line is 23059. However, let me start with some breaking news, or at least developing for that matter, from the Kenya Power and Lighting Company, who have just released a press statement concerning the partial power outage across the country. And they say they have lost power supply to parts of the country and engineers are working to restore supply to the affected areas. They apologize to customers for the inconveniences caused, and an update on restoration progress and cause of the power outage will be issued later on. That is just the latest this evening from parts of Nairobi as well as the coastal region, where you could actually be watching me on your phone rather than on your television because of power outage. But we'll be keeping tabs with that, even as the Kcpe have confirmed indeed there is power outage across parts of the country. No significant or no specific causes to why, as they say the engineers are working towards restoring power supply. So that is something we'll be updating you in our subsequent bulletin. The Ministry of Education has announced plans to release the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination results by the end of November. According to Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang, Kcpe results will be released in a few weeks to pave way for the placement of Form 1 students before the Christmas holidays. About 1.3 million learners sat for the 3-day exercise from October 30th to November 1st, as they were the last cohort of the 844 education system.
We have started marking Kcpe so that we can be able to release these results in good time to allow us to place our children in schools, so that as they go into Christmas, as they do then all the celebrations that are there, they are aware that they have responsibilities to take care of in January, because they will have known the schools their kids have been placed, what the fees expectations are, and all that. But I want to say and really thank our teachers. We have already thanked our primary school heads when they were in their meeting in Mombasa, because they did a fantastic job. That I would want to say. Our colleagues and in government, the Ministry of ICT and the Ministry of Interior, they have done a wonderful job. Mainly our colleagues who manage the technology part of life, the Ministry of ICT, they have really done a good job. They have been able this time to neutralize the social media. If I call them traffickers, I think I'll be using the right word. This time they have been neutralized. If you are able to go to some of their sites, they are totally frustrated because they cannot get anything. Because our colleagues in the ICT sector, the Communication Authority, our colleagues in cybercrime, our colleagues in ICT, they have done a fantastic job. Now, where we had heavy rains and flooding, with the interagency approach and delivering as one in government, we have adequately facilitated and we had enough choppers in those places.
Residents of Meru County turned out in numbers to welcome their Governor Kawira Mwangaza back home. Governor Mwangaza was saved by the Senate from impeachment after the Meru County Ward representative submitted a motion to remove her from office. Senate, led by Speaker Amason Kingi, moved the motion and gave the Governor Mwangaza victory for the second time. Mwangaza thanked the Senate for giving her justice, and she also called on leaders of the Meru County to forget the past and unite together to achieve development for the residents of that county.
Nimerudi nikiwa gavana tena. Kama vile mtumishi amesema, mlango ambao Bwana ameufungua, nani awezaye kuufunga? Mlango ambaye Mungu amefungua, nani aliye na uwezo wa kufunga? Nashukuru Seneti yetu siku ya leo kwa kupeana haki. Na mimi kama mama kiongozi, maana Mungu amenipatia wajibu mkubwa na kazi iliyo kubwa mbele yangu, ni ya kuhakikisha mtoto wa Meru amefurahia uongozi wetu. Na kama kuna mtu nimekosea hapa kwa hii ofisi, nje ya ofisi, Meru County, nje ya Meru County, naomba msamaha. Na wale wote ambao wamenikosea, wale wote wamefanya moyo wangu ukadhoifika, wale wote ambao wamefanya nikamwaga machozi mbele ya Kenya mzima, nimewasamehe. Mimi sijabeba mtu yoyote, lakini nimesamehe kila mtu. Mimi kama mama kiongozi, nataka kusema hivi: tushikane mikono ili tuweze kufanya kazi kwa pamoja. Hata viongozi walio nje, ninawakaribisha wote tufanye kazi kwa pamoja. MCS wetu walio nje, ninawakaribisha. Mimi bado ni mama wenu, mimi bado ni gavana wenu. Karibuni tufanye kazi kwa pamoja. MPS wetu wote, hata senator wetu, hata CS wetu, na waomba tufanye kazi kwa pamoja. Jehovah God commands a blessing where there is unity. Sisi ni watu wa familia moja ya Meru. Tokenjanera malinya for nothing. Tosheka na ile Mungu amekupatia. Bwana asifiwe. Kuna watu walikuwa wameuziwa uoga hata katika haya maofisi. Wengine wataenda nyumbani. Na hata tukiwa Senate, kuna driver wangu alipigiwa simu akaambiwa arudishe gari. Lakini Mungu ni mwaminifu. Mimi kama mama sitalipisha, kama kiongozi silipishi, lakini nawaombea baraka.
6 persons have been arrested in Narok County for illegally operating health facilities in the ongoing Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council crackdown. The 6 are an addition to the growing list of persons apprehended in crackdowns across the country, where 609 facilities have been shut down for flaunting the laid down guidelines and operational procedures.
Moving across the country to be able to ensure that we have inspected all these facilities for compliance purposes. So be ready that we will be there. We are working with the National Police Service. We are working with the county government to be able to ensure that we bring sanity in this health sector. This inspection is geared towards ensuring compliance and is an assessment to ensure that the personnel who are working there, the infrastructure, physical infrastructure, all these activities, together with the operation of the health facilities, comply to the safe standards that have been put into place by KMPDC.
It is very unfortunate when you find those unqualified people attending to our people, to the patients. That contributes to deaths, complications, and it is unacceptable.
The owners of those facilities escaped when they heard that KMPDC is doing inspections. And we will put the names of the facilities that ran away into the public, and every other time that they open will be notified. And we'll even take the initiative as county government through our director and even the staff who is stationed here and even make follow-up with the DCI so that the people are arrested to comply.
All heads of institutions, directors and owners, to ensure that your facility is registered, licensed by KMPDC. And you also engage only those professionals who have been registered, who have been licensed to offer those services according to their scope of practice.
The Raila Odinga-led Orange Democratic Movement ODM party has launched a nationwide recruitment drive in a bid to enhance its image ahead of the 2024 polls. The registration drive camped at Siaya County on Saturday as it seeks to broaden to Homa Bay on Monday and other parts of the country. The party prepares to conduct its grassroots level elections in March of 2024. UDA party, on the other hand, is set to conduct its elections in December.
We are here in Siaya for a purpose. From Siaya today, we are going to embark on a journey for ODM to reclaim its rightful position as the most progressive political movement, not only in Kenya, but in the entire East and Central Africa region.
Lazima, we are looking for electoral justice. Lazima tuchunguze mambo vile tulipiga kura. Ndio hapo usoni in 2027 tutakuwa na uchaguzi ya haki na ukweli. We must find out where the truth is. Electoral justice must take place.
The cost of living has gone up. The people of Kenya are suffering. Gharama maisha imepanda. Punda si amechoka, punda ameanguka. Si punda ameanguka. Si punda ameanguka. Lakini tumesema juzi Bwana Ruto aliongea katika bunge. Akaongea juu ya hali ya uchumi katika taifa letu. Mingi yale alisema yote ilikuwa ni uongo tupu. Pengine yeye na sijui kama yeye alikuwa anafikiri Wakenya wanaishi katika kule mbinguni, kule katika ile nyota inaitwa sijui ni Mars. Manake yale yote ambayo alisema yalikuwa ni uongo tupu. Nasema tumefanya uchunguzi na wiki ijayo mtatoboa.
President William Ruto has called for enhanced collaboration between Saudi Arabia and Africa in the development and sustainable exploitation of clean energy. The president observed that the combined hydrocarbon and green energy resources of Africa and Saudi Arabia hold enough promise to meet current and future global energy demands. He made the remarks in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and the head of state said Africa is keen on forging a stronger trade and investment partnership with Arab nations to foster regional and global stability. He appealed to Arab nations to explore investment opportunities in African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement and make Kenya their gateway.
We have the combined trade potential. Africa today contributes only 3% of the world's trade. Being small means there is great room for improvement. And therefore, between Saudi Arabia and Africa, we can unlock huge potential of trade, enormous opportunity for investment, and with the capital resources in Saudi Arabia and natural resources in our continent, we can not only power the engines of green manufacturing, green industrialization, and use the opportunity that exists not only to create jobs for the millions of young people in our continent, but to create green products, whether it is food and food products from our millions of acres in our region, but also green industrial minerals, green steel from our renewable energy, and green minerals for which our continent is endowed. Between Saudi and Africa, we have the energy of the present and the energy of the future. The energy of the present, Saudi Arabia has tremendous resources of fossil fuels, maybe almost 20%. For the energy, renewable energy of the future, Africa has 40% of wind, solar, hydro, geothermal, renewable energy. Combining the energy resources of Saudi Arabia and Africa gives us the energy that we can use today to power our development, and gives us also the potential for the energy for tomorrow and the future.
Controversial preacher of the Good News International Church, Paul Mackenzie, has been found guilty of recording and distribution of film that had the topics of last days without the approval and permission of the Kenya Film Classification Board. The chief judge in the court in Malindi, Olga Onalo, found Mackenzie guilty of showing a movie through his Times television without the permission of the Kenya Film Classification Board. The court will give judgment on 1st of December this year. Mackenzie has also been detained by the police for more than 6 months now since his arrest in April, and he is facing another case in the Shanzu court over the death of over 400 people who died by starvation. Switching gears, over 12,000 households are in dire need of humanitarian assistance, with hundreds of residents from Tractor Village in Isiolo County permanently displaced. The residents who have been forced to seek alternative shelter are now calling on the government to put in place proper drainage systems. Community health volunteers have also called for urgent interventions to avert the threat of malaria and waterborne diseases. The death toll from floods in northeastern region continues to rise.
Kuanzia juzi tulikuwa tunaona kama maji bado iko kidogo, lakini kuanzia jana usiku hatukulala, tumekaa hivi tukishota maji mpaka ikatuingilia. Na vile imetuingilia, mzigo yetu zingine zimebaki huko, lakini kwa sasa vile tumekaa hapo tumesongamana tu kukaa juu ya mesa na ile kitanda jana tuliokoa moja.
Serikali kama iko atuone hii shida yetu. Kwanza mimi nimekuliwa na hii maji mara 2 saa hii. Uri mara 3. Kana mbuzi hapa. Watoto ya mbuzi amepotelea hapa. Kuku amepotelea hapa. Vitu yote amepotelea hapa. Lakini hako na mbuzi ile kubwa hajamesa maji. Lakini watoto hakuna.
Sasa ukiona hapa sasa hii yuko ukuta. Wale wa Chinese walikuwa wanatengeneza hii barabara, wameweka ukuta. Sasa hapa ni kama bonde. Maji inakuja inasimama hapa, inarudi mpaka inamaliza hii kijiji yote.
Tungepata enye itatusaidia kabisa. Maybe watupe trakta enye itapiga mtaro kabisa ielekeze hii maji kama mpaka kwa laga.
Watu watakonjeka hapa. Naomba tu idara ya afya wafike waletea hawa watu madawa na maneti pamoja na mahema ya kulalia.
Hapa siku 3 tumeteseka, hata chakula hatujakula. Sasa tunaomba serikali itushughulikie kwa dharura. Tunashughulika tunapata mkate tunakula, hiyo siku inapita.
What we need right now is as much as possible cargo helicopters to take as much needed aid.
The judiciary has identified informal settlements in and around Naivasha as the hotspot for the rising cases of child abuse in Lakeside town. The settlements that incidentally harbor hundreds of flower farm workers were mapped out as the epicenter of defilement, abandonment, assault and neglect of minors.
Na kesi 143 ambazo ziko lower court. Hizo ni za criminal ama kesi za jinai. Tuko pia na kesi 2 ambazo zinahusiana na underage. Under 18 ziko high court. Moja iko review stage, alihukumiwa katika hii lower court, amepeleka high court. na tuko na moja ambayo ni kesi ya High Court ya kesi ya mada. Kesi nyingi ambazo ziko hapa kotini ni Mai Mahiu, Karagita area, eneo ambayo inaitwa KCC iko hapa juu. Kuna eneo ingine ambayo inaitwa Midhori, Kehoto, Gondi na Buffalo Mall area. Hizo sehemu zote ndio ambazo zinaitwa hotspot.
The society has two roles to play. Safeguard the children as our children, not your child and somebody's child. And number two, if by any chance we are not able to completely eradicate or stop the commission of the crime, you are the first people to preserve the evidence. You and I took the responsibility as a society. We will not even be here talking about judiciary. Children service week, because there will be no children cases where in court.
The county government of Embu on Friday received a consignment of non-pharmaceutical products worth 10 million shillings from Mission for Essential Drugs and Supplies, MEDS. The supplies, including clinical gloves, face masks and shields, syringes, aprons, cotton wool, blood bags, among others, are meant to assist health personnel across the 4 sub-counties render services well. Deputy County Governor Kinyua Mugo, while receiving the supplies at the Embu Level 5 Hospital, announced that another consignment of drugs estimated at 20 million shillings was due to arrive on Saturday. He said they were also expecting an additional shipment of drugs worth 34 million shillings next week that will go a long way in alleviating shortage of drugs in all health facilities across the county. The development comes as a relief to patients who have been complaining of lack of drugs in almost all health facilities across the county.
Katika hii hospitali kuu kabisa hapa Embu, ambao ni Embu Level 5, tumepokea vifaa za matibabu ambao inaitwa non-farms ya milioni 10 ambayo tunatarajia leo jioni na kufikia kesho. Hiyo ni mandawa ya kawaida ambayo itakuja level 5, ni ya dhamani ya milioni 20. Jumatano wiki ijayo tutakuwa pia tumepokea ndawa za dhamani ya 34 million ambayo itakuwa ni mandawa ambayo sasa itaenda katika level 4, iende level 3, level 2 na pia ile dispensary ya chini kabisa. Kwa hivyo wacha niseme mimi niko na furaha sana kwa sababu hii mandawa ambayo non-farms ambayo imefika, vifaa ya theater, mashindano, syringes, mask na vitu kama hizo. Wiki ijayo hakuna hospitali yote hata ile ya pale chini ambayo itakuwa na mandawa. Kwa hivyo naomba watu wetu wananchi watulie, turekebishe hii maneno. Wiki ijayo kila hospitali sianati zote zitakuwa na mandawa, ndio wananchi wetu tuendelee kuwahudumia. Tumekuwa na changamoto kidogo kwa sababu saa nyingine unakuta procurement wakati tunaagiza mandawa kutoka kwa suppliers ambao ni wawili, the main suppliers wanakuwa wawili, ile mkubwa kabisa wa serikali anaitangwa KEMSA na mwingine wa pili ambao ni private anaitangwa MENS. Those are ndio main suppliers wetu. Changamoto huwa wakati saa nyingine tunaagiza ile procurement cycle ndio ndio ifike hapa inakuwa iko na shinda kidogo, na pia kumekuwa na matatizo, unakuta saa nyingine wananchi hawezi elewa kwa nini mandawa ifike haraka wakati inapoisha. Hiyo imekuwa ni changamoto ambayo tunajaribu kutatua tukiwa kama serikali ya kaunti.
For a consecutive week, 7 people have lost their lives after being attacked by livestock thieves in Baragoi area, Samburu County. The situation has led to a decline in security and the residents live with fear of attacks. Leaders from the area are now asking the Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki to intervene and provide a permanent solution because the attack is increasingly causing disaster to the natives of Samburu.
Wahalifu ambao walikuja eneo langu kijiji ambayo inaitwa kijiji cha Bendera wakapata kuua kijana mmoja wa chini miaka 35 na kujeruhi mvulana mmoja mwenye chini miaka 20 na pia kujeruhi ofisa wetu wa polisi ambayo hao majeruhi walipelekwa hospitali ya Marara. Na kwa hakika tunataka kuambia ofisi ya Kindiki ya kwamba Baragoi mambo sio mzuri. Tangu ile siku mulilete wale askari wa SOG mambo kidogo ilikuwa imetulia, lakini vile sasa tunaona wakati wao askari waliondolewa Baragoi tunaelekea sasa kurudi mahali ambayo tulikuwa. serikali yetu ambayo tunaipenda sana, kwa nini walikuja wakatoa askari ambao walikuja kutusaidia hapa? Tunaomba serikali ya Kindiki turudishie hao special forces, because tumekuja kuona kwamba ni wao tu ndio wanaweza sana na vita ya hapa kwa sababu ya maneno ya technology na mambo zingine mingi. Kwa hivyo tunaomba sana, na sisi kama wakaaji wa Baragoi tuko na maumivu sana. Kupoteza kijana ambaye ameanzisha tu familia yake juzi si jambo ambayo sisi ni tunafurahia.
Kuna walifu walikuja kufamia area yangu ya Bendera na ni Waturkana, na ni kama watu ambaye estimate ni kama watu 30, ni kama full rate. Na hii watu vile wakakuja kufika tu vijana ambaye wanaoga, ambaye walikuwa karibu na mbuzi, na wakaua vijana, akaua kijana mmoja ambaye tumekuja sasa kusika kwa hapa, ndio kaburi ndio hii. Kuna kijana mwingine pia alipelekwa hospitali Referral Hospital ambaye ni Mbalalal, na pia kuna askari pia alipigwa mkono, na walitumia moto mingi sana kurudisha hiyo mbuzi. Ilikuwa ni nguvu mingi sana ambayo tunasema asante kwa hawa, ile kazi walifanya. Na mimi naamini kama wataendelea kufanya namna hiyo, hii kazi itakuwa kidogo. Hii kazi ya watu kukufa ama kuchukua mifugo ya watu wawe maskini, hii kazi itakuwa kidogo sana.
Monday being designated as a national holiday for tree planting throughout the country, President William Ruto is expected to lead the ceremony in Kio Makindu area of Makueni County. Kibwezi West Member of Parliament Mungi Mutuse has asked leaders from the county to support the president's visit and asked locals to show up in numbers on that day and plant trees, a step that will help face climate action.
Barabara ziinuliwe, ziwekwe kiwango ya hali ya juu, zingine ziwekwe lami, zingine ziwekwe maram, na hata hivyo tunataka upande wa maji uimarishwe kabisa. Manake huku kwetu hakuna mahali ambapo tunaweza kuwa na ile water collection. Earthy dams hakuna ambazo zinaweza kuimarisha msingi wa kilimo.
Tunauliza viongozi wote wetu wa Makueni, viongozi wetu wote wa Ukambani, wakati rais tulimuona ameenda Siaya, magavana wote wa huko walikuwa hapo, na huko ndio Raila ametoka. Wakati alikuwa wabunge wote walikuwa hapo. Niwaulize watu wetu tushikane mikono, tukae na rais, ndio tuweze kuona jinsi ambavyo the 85% ya resources ambazo zinaachwa na national government zitaweza kufikia watu wetu.
To sports, Gor Mahia unveiled state-of-the-art bus at Kasarani Stadium to mark a new chapter of history at the club. And the 42-seater bus was donated by the ICT CS Eliudo Walo through his foundation that is hugely supporting the club and former players. The Isuzu FVR90 has USB charging sockets and foldable TVs. The luxury bus is a 2x2-seater configuration with 4 VIP seats. The new bus has also galaxy roofing with surrounding lights inside that can give a feeling of the club's traditional colors. And at the Kasarani Stadium, the match ended 0-0 versus Murangasil. Alego, Songa and Ugunja constituency football teams are the ones that will represent Siaya County in the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regional Football Tournament in Kisumu next week. Alego, Songa constituency football team qualified for the regionals in the ladies category after emerging champions at the county level following a 1-0 win against Ugunja ladies football team in the finals, which were played at the Siaya KMTC grounds. During the men's finals, Ugunja constituency team qualified to represent Siaya at the regionals after they clobbered Bondo constituency team 3-1 at the same venue. Speaking during the presentation of awards to the winners of the finals, which were graced by Siaya County Governor James Orengo, together with members of Parliament Samuel Atandi of Alego Usonga, Otiende Amolo of Rarieda, and Dr. Christine Ombaka of Siaya County. The NGCDF Regional Coordinator Tom Wasike congratulated the teams and wished them well as they proceed to the regionals.
Makofi, 1, 2, 3. Mzuri for the last 2 days, and the best team won. So from here, Your Excellency, the winning teams will be proceeding to Kisumu next week for the regional tournament. Kisumu, Siaya, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii, and Nyamira. So from Thursday, 16th and 17th, next week we'll be having the regional tournaments where all the 6 counties will be participating.
We have the talents. From Magnani, we discovered these talents when it's too late. Messi was discovered by Barcelona when he was about 12 years old. Pele started playing at about 14 years old. At 17 years old, Pele was playing in the World Cup.
Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba has stated that President William Ruto's government for the first time has allocated 3.7 billion shillings to combat the use of doping drugs in order to improve the condition of athletes in the country. Speaking at the Eliud Kipchoge complex in Kapsabet, Ababu emphasized that coaches in various training camps must be checked if they have involved athletes in the use of drugs so that they strict actions can be taken against against their camps, a statement that was also reiterated by Nandi County Governor Stephen Sang.
Last week, about 4 of the athletes from Nandi found themselves were found to have participated in doping. Sasa tukiendelea kupata in 1 month or 2 months, another 4, we are messing up our talent.
That is why, as a government, we have declared total, relentless, unwavering, unequivocal, and ambiguous war on doping. Our mantra in government is zero tolerance to doping. Zero doping. Because we must protect this proud heritage, we must protect this proud pedigree, and we have gone the extra mile in that war.
It is a wrap on EBN Weekend Edition. Thank you so much for keeping us company. I must assume that you could be in the dark tonight following that power outage. However, not to worry. KPLC have released a statement confirming that indeed there is power blackout across parts of the country, including Nairobi and Mombasa. So you will enjoy electricity soon, hopefully. But thank you for watching. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Have a blessed Sunday ahead.